The topic I will be discussing is the brutality of war. During this presentation, I will be showing two clips from two different war movies, The Patriot and Saving Private Ryan. Both clips have a lot of spilt blood and death. In real life, every single minute that passes, two people are killed in conflicts around the world. And yes, that is a lot. However, the movies that are produced to portray what happens in war are exaggerative about the amount of blood shed in a given battle. Also, they exaggerate the capabilities of soldiers in certain situations, as we will see in the clip of The Patriot. The argument I'm trying to show is that war movies do not portray war correctly because they are too brutal and violent. They are more focused on the blood and gore for entertainment than for the actual strategy involved in their missions. This is not to say that war in real life is not extremely brutal and deadly. Simply it means that the film industry makes things out to be more gory than I think is necessary.
Lord, make me fast and accurate.
The first clip I chose to show was from the movie The Patriot, where Mel Gibson's character and his two younger sons attack 20 British soldiers in an attempt to get his other son out of their custody. I think this example of war is unrealistic because one man and two young boys should not be able to defeat 20 trained soldiers. Yes, it is true that with the adrenaline racing through his veins, he could have performed at a higher level than what is normal. However, some of his actions are very far-fetched and show a lot of blood loss and brutality. One of the most realistic parts, in my opinion, is toward the end of the fight when he is letting out all of his anger towards his lost son on the soldier in the water, as you will see at the end of this clip. Other than that one particular part, the rest of the scene is too far from reality to be believable. Maybe if there was a smaller group of men, this would be a realistic battle, but the way it is here, it is not. You will now be viewing a clip from Saving Private Ryan. The second clip that you're viewing is from the movie Saving Private Ryan. The scene is when the soldiers are storming Omaha Beach on D-Day. This is another very bloody scene where lots of men are killed both in water and on the beach. It is disturbing in several instances. The scene is on a much greater scale because it is involving so many more men than the first clip we watched from The Patriot. The actual fighting of this particular scene is much more realistic than the one we watched from The Patriot because the amount of men fighting each other is a lot more equal. The thing about this particular scene is the excessive amount of blood and dead bodies lying everywhere. I could be naive for thinking this is not something that truly happened, but I don't believe it was to the extent the video shows. Directors and movie producers must have a way of keeping viewers interested, and they do this by using a lot of blood and gore, which tends to over-exaggerate things from what the reality is. There's a lot of dramatic effect added into war movies like The Patriot and Saving Private Ryan that sometimes is easy to get lost between reality and film. The two clips I chose to view show the extreme use of blood and death in war movies. Especially when scenes are looked at out of the context of the movie, it is much easier to form an opinion on whether or not to believe exactly what you were seeing. In conclusion, my video essay leaves a lot up to each person's individual thoughts and ideas. My goal is to point out a different argument that many people might not have previously thought about, but will perhaps at least think twice about after viewing this. I purposely left the majority of this essay in the form of the clips from the two movies involved so that individuals could really think and form their own opinions while watching each scene. I want you to really think, from what you know and what you've learned, do these movies expose a reality or the imagination of a Hollywood director?